It started as just another primetime panel discussion. The kind you see every night: famous faces, polished suits, polite disagreements. But what happened that night would ignite a cultural firestorm and challenge the very fabric of modern discourse. It was a moment the internet would replay millions of times, frame by frame, dissecting every word, every glance, every pause. Tulsi Gabbard versus Robert De Niro, unlikely clash, but one that would go down in television history. The night began. With electricity in the air, the network had booked a special live segment on American voices in divided times. The idea was simple: bring together people from different walks of life and have them discuss the future of the country. Tulsi Gabbard, the decorated military veteran and former presidential candidate, known for her independent thinking and refusal to bend to political pressure, was seated on the left of the panel. Across from her sat Robert De Niro, the legendary actor, known just as much for his passionate political views as for his iconic roles in film. For the first 10 minutes, things remained civil. The moderator tossed around questions about the state of the nation, political polarization, and how Hollywood and Washington intersected more than ever before. De Niro, always intense, delivered passionate criticisms of political figures he believed were destroying democracy. The audience applauded. Tulsi listened quietly, her hands clasped calmly in her lap. Then came the spark. The moderator turned to De Niro. "Bob, you've spoken a lot about misinformation and dangerous rhetoric. But what about the role of entertainment elites in shaping public opinion? Do you think there's ever been a time where Hollywood has overstepped?" De Niro scoffed. "Let's not pretend both sides are equal here. There's a war going on. For the soul of this country, people like her," he gestured sharply at Tulsi, "they play the centrist game to stay relevant. It's cowardice dressed up as wisdom." The room fell silent. Even the moderator looked stunned. Tulsi looked up, slowly. She didn't flinch, didn't raise her voice, but her words cut like a scalpel. "Robert," she began, her tone steady and full of conviction. "You've made a career out of portraying heroes, flawed but courageous men who stood up for something. But this isn't a movie. This is real life. And in real life, screaming louder than everyone else doesn't make you right. I've worn the uniform. I've lost friends in war. I've fought for this country, literally, and I'll tell you, what's cowardice? Cowardice is attacking people who don't fit neatly into your tribal narrative, instead of engaging with their ideas." The audience murmured. The air shifted. De Niro leaned forward, his face red. "You think you can lecture me on courage? I've used my voice to fight fascism in this country, and I respect that." Tulsi interrupted, gently but firmly. "But courage isn't just shouting down your enemies. It's listening to people you disagree with. It's being willing to stand alone if you believe something is true. That's why I walked away from a party that no longer reflected my values. Not because it was easy, because it was right." The tension in the room was palpable. De Niro opened his mouth, but no words came. He shook his head in frustration, gestured vaguely, then sat back, folding his arms. The moderator, clearly stunned, tried to steer the conversation forward. But the moment had already broken free from the screen. Clips of the exchange hit social media within minutes. The hashtag #TULSIVs De Niro trended worldwide. TikTok exploded with reaction videos. News outlets replayed the clip again and again. Some hailed Tulsi as the voice of reason in a time of chaos. Others criticized her for disrespecting a legend. But no one could ignore the deeper current that had been revealed. People were tired of noise. They were hungry for clarity, for honesty, for courage that didn't need applause. What most viewers didn't see was what happened backstage. De Niro and Tulsi crossed paths in the hallway, both exhausted, the adrenaline fading. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then, De Niro offered a tired smile. "You hit harder than Scorsese's editors." Tulsi laughed softly. "I get that. A lot." He extended a hand. "I still disagree with you on a lot of things." "So do I," she said, shaking it. "But I respect your fight." The handshake wasn't dramatic. No cameras caught it. but that quiet gesture between two fierce minds from radically different worlds. Reminded everyone that disagreement doesn't have to mean destruction. And that was the real story. Not a takedown, not a destroyed headline, but to people who believed deeply in something bigger than themselves, and who, in the clash of conviction, reminded us all what it means to speak, to listen, and to stand. Moral of the story. In an age of division, the strongest voices aren't the loudest. They're the ones willing to risk being misunderstood for the sake of truth. And in that moment, on live TV, Tulsi Gabbard didn't just win a debate, she sparked a movement.